What album are you guys doing now?
Delirium, Ellie Goulding.
Ellie Goulding.
Fuck off! Hello, and welcome to the Sonic Squeeze. Today we're doing an album review. Delirium by Ellie Goulding. Ellie Goulding is an English singer and multi-instrumentalist. She's a pretty big fucking dealio over here. She's had a few big hits with Calvin Harris. She's done a shit ton of fucking features with everybody on the fucking planet. I felt like I've sworn too much in the beginning of this episode, right off the bat. But this is Delirium, her third studio album. I liked the intro very muchly.
Oh, the intro was awesome.
The intro was the best.
The intro was probably the best track of the album. It was actually so cool.
I know, it really built me up for the whole thing.
These beautiful vocal harmonies.
They're all
and
like
the strings
chopped up.
Yeah, they're all put together. It
really built tension.
It was grand, it was dark, and it teased me for what was to come.
And her voice is fucking beautiful.
It had
all these melodies in her voice. I'm just like,
she had her hand down my trousers.
Sleep in a bed of her voice. Like, oh.
And she hit some great notes in it as well.
Yeah, it was excellent.
The production was wonderful.
Yeah.
On this entire album. That really showed in the first song, Aftertaste. What did you think of Aftertaste, guys?
I mean, well bad.
Well bad.
Well,
it was well bad, mate.
It was well average. It was it followed in from the intro of like, oh yeah, so now we've got some like real nice intro in this intro on the intro of the first song, which is now the second song.
Oh god.
And then it was just like, oh, it's pop. And it's just pop. And there's nothing more than pop.
That's how I feel about this album.
And in a lot of this album, I feel like what Ellie Goulding does is she sort of gets a producer and she's like, what can you make me? And he's like, I can make you a sort of deep housey song, a sort of older dubs of songs. And that she's like, no, we've already done that one. We've already gone through that dance genre. And she just sort of picked through each dance genre and each sort of style of thing and just went, oh, I haven't done it. Do you know what? We're running out of ideas near the end of the track. Garage. Let's do a garage track.
That was weird though, that garage track, because it wasn't garage. Just had garage like hats every now and then. It was like
which
really
track
weird.
was that?
Devotion. And she did just try
Devotion?
Yeah, she did just sort of
No, Devolution, you mean?
No. Devotion.
Yeah, it's Devotion. Devolution is a garage act.
You're just factually incorrect.
Wow.
Devotion, I thought was the worst on the album. I thought it was actually terrible.
Really?
I thought it was genuinely awful. I thought as though what just
I think
happened
it's possibly
there,
my favourite song on the album.
I think that I'm going to go harsh as fuck on this song, right? Yeah. I think that producer should genuinely be ashamed of himself. Because
do you know who the producer was?
No. Well, I looked him up, but I can't remember his name. It made no sense, that entire song. It was just, you have an acoustic guitar, and I was like, okay, this is, like, it's alright. And then it goes into, like, some aggressive garage thing, which doesn't fit at all. And then her vocals come in.
Yeah, the garage thing didn't fit too well.
They don't fit at all. And then it goes back into the acoustic thing, and then it just keeps, like, mishmash. And
the track got very busy, didn't it? It got very...
Yeah, straight away,
The weirdest thing about
within
that
about
song,
20 seconds, it was just already like, what is even going on here? It's like you're just trying too hard to take all of the credit as doing the production.
Most of the songs on this album are super up-to-date, super modern, well-produced pop versions of dance tracks, right? That song, for some reason, those drums sound like they could have come from like an old-school 90s garage track.
Yeah.
Like those drum samples were like old school as hell, and not in like a sort of flattering way, in a way where you were like, this could have probably been done nicer, you know. It was weird, but I liked the song. I thought the rhythm that the garage things gave, although it wasn't good, the drums weren't good. I liked the rhythm enough that the rest of the song I was like, oh yeah, this is pretty.
Speaking of producers, do you know who wrote and produced "On My Mind"? It was Max Martin, one of the most decorated
and that's
writers and producers.
And that's down as my favourite song on the album.
Oh yeah.
Max Martin, you're so fucking good.
Alright.
He's not watching this, but I would if he offered.
Can you come and write our episodes for us?
Yeah,
That'd be
dude.
Sweet.
We'd be so much funnier if he did. He's just a crazy Swedish god.
No?
I thought that it was really nice that they opened with "Message in a Bottle" by The Police. That guitar is like exactly the same. That song suited her voice a lot. Throughout this entire track, there's a lot which is like, your voice doesn't really suit this. I understand what your voice is going for, and this song is just a pop song that you've chosen, and it's not for you. I felt as though that happened on quite a lot of these songs, but on that one, I felt as though that one worked.
Yeah. On my mind, everything fit together for Ellie Goulding. It was catching, it was big sounding, but it left enough room for her big vocals as well. It was awesomely rhythmic. The guitar sample I really liked. And it was entirely built around that sample, like quite a few of them were, but in a really nice way, where it was just big sound, just had that sample and her voice, and everything was just built around those elements, and it worked really well. And I was like, that was the one song in here where I was like, yes, whoever wrote this knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
And now I know why.
Well, I can't remember where I read this. I've read it somewhere, but Max Martin apparently gets a number one on on average, like every 8 songs he writes, he has a number one hit. And this song right now is on number 13 in the UK charts. By the time this goes out, I don't know where it'll go, but I can't.
It hasn't got a music video yet. When it gets that, it could boost up some Billboard chartage.
But what if it goes similar to Drake's?
I mean,
what if they kind of do all the
Ellie
promotion
Goulding
for it,
on,
kind of spread a bit too far?
I don't think Ellie Goulding's on Apple Music though. She hasn't done anything with them before.
But Drake released the single and then released the video and then did Apple Music and then did other stuff, and it was all
then deleted the video.
The problem with the Drake one was that they only put the video on Apple Music to start off with, so it didn't get any of the YouTube rankings for the charts. But I don't think many people would do that. I think Drake can get away with it because he's so big.
Okay, enough of Drake. Holding on for life.
I do want to mention going away from just doing songs.
Probably one of my favourites, this one. Yeah.
I just found this song absolutely fucking hilarious. She's like, yes, we get it. You're English. You don't pronounce your words properly. Like, holding on for life. Holding on for life. She has to say it like that. It's
really radio friendly.
Yeah.
It was really average, but there were a lot of songs on here which were really radio friendly and not that good.
Well,
also the intro was like, kind of had that Rory style of having some kind of vocals going with some clapping and keeping the beat with that. And I thought that was quite interesting compared to a lot of the others.
I found on this thing, for a lot of them, the ones that stood out for me were the ones that were very obviously, because there's a lot of stuff that's sort of typical Ellie Goulding dance, but there's a few songs on here that are very typically like, we didn't get a writer like Max Martin in here, we just picked a dance genre and went with it. Keep On Dancing is pretty much typical, like sort of Jack U style kind of trappiness.
Yeah. It's like synth pop as well.
Don't Need Nobody is just typical deep house. That's their deep house.
Keep On Dancing.
Song.
Did you feel as though that the whistle didn't fit? Like it didn't.
A lot of stuff on that track didn't fit because it was like she was trying
to be her,
one of
my favourite things.
She was trying to be her
nice. I
thought
the whistle was good. I just think that every part of the track that the whistle was on didn't
work
with it.
To me, the whistle made the song.
She was trying to be her normal, airy, big self and do her thing. And then she had this sort of more harsh Jack U style thing with all these kind of vocally sounds going in. And they didn't fit together that much.
Can we get back to 50 Shades of Ellie Goulding? Love Me Like You Do.
This is going to become the fan favourite.
Well, this already is.
Well, it's on 50 Shades, so
it's
already going to be...
It's not the lead single. That's on my mind, isn't it? So this is going to be the next single, and it was on the... It was on part of the soundtrack
for 50 Shades of
Grey. Yeah, so this is her biggest song out that she has.
There are songs by, like random songs by Muse that are on there, which are like back catalogue songs, which suddenly became hugely famous, and one of Muse's biggest tracks because they're on that. It's like that thing is just to the point where now you'll see it if you listen to it on Spotify, like me and Kit did. That song is no longer called "Love Me Like You Do." It's called "Love Me Like You Do" from the 50 Shades of Grey soundtrack.
Yeah.
Like they actually add that on to everything that's on the 50 Shades of Grey soundtrack, so that you know.
if you look at like the Spotify of Ellie Goulding, you'll see like her big songs have like a few million like views, like let's say 20 million on some of them. And then it gets to
we have like more subscribers.
Love Me Like You Do. Do we?
I hope so.
We do. By the time this airs, probably.
None of us look on YouTube much.
Anyway, the Love Me Like You Do has 500 million.
Yeah,
like
it's crazy.
And it's a terrible song.
Do you know why
pretty bad.
it's got so many?
Because of the film?
Well, other than that, do you know why people specifically went back and listened
Because
to that
it's
song?
so boring and unoffensive.
Because it's perfectly formulaic.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, how do you write a pop song
This
like
and that, yeah,
this?
exactly.
How
Love
do
me
you
like
record
you
a
do,
pop
love me
song?
like you
How
do.
do you produce one? How do you sing on one? How do you write the hook? What's it going to sound like? What has every successful pop song from the past 5 years
They've
sounded
done
like?
this. Love me
It's
like you do.
exactly like that.
Oh yeah, what should I have that? Love, love, love me like you do, yeah. Put the word love in there a bunch more times. Number 1.
It is perfectly formulaic. To
You
the
know-
point where I'm kind of impressed, because usually when you go down the formulaic route, it's just like, wow, you've clearly tried and it's not worked. But in this sense,
Yeah,
like, you
well-
can just see, this is definitely going to sell millions and millions of copies. Because they've just got it spot on. And in that sense, I'm impressed, because that producer's obviously going to get,
I
like,
think
millions. But
The summing up for this album is that it's a lot of sort of quite nice sounds, a lot of boring pop tracks, but if you like the sound, you'll love it. And it's very rarely gets to the point where you're just like, this is awful. You'll always listen to it and be like, I mean, it's a pop track, and it sort of sounds
yeah,
nice.
for me, all of the songs were trying to be a single. There wasn't enough variety. Almost every
yeah.
song was about 3 minutes 30. I think they ranged between 3 minutes 20 and 4 minutes 10.
Yeah.
And like, that was it. And there was no variety in there. It didn't flow like an album. It was just, here's a
Song
pop
after
song,
song, yeah.
here's a pop song, here's a pop song, here's a pop song. And there weren't any like, oh, we'll have a low tempo one, then some up tempo, then some low tempo. It was just exactly the same over and over. It got really boring.
So, what were your favourite of those pop tracks?
Oh, the intro.
Oh!
Do you know what? Normally I'd say we
intro.
can't count intros, but I think on this track you need
Yeah,
to.
Yeah,
yeah.
you need to.
Just-
It's
it is-
genuinely the
it
best
was,
part.
By
yeah.
far the best part of this album.
I'm gonna say, Holding On for Life, even possibly Aftertaste, just because at that point in the album I wasn't incredibly bored. Army, I thought the production ruined that song. I thought that song could be like a 6, maybe a 7 if it was done a bit more stripped back, but it was overproduced. I'll give that a 6 probably overall. It lost a lot of its character to because of that, but I'd say those 3 or 4. However many I said.
Intro is the best. I think we can all agree on that by far. On My Mind was then my favourite of the sort of actual songs. I thought he just did the pop thing perfectly, and I really liked their song "Don't Need Nobody."
So did I.
Kind of, I could see that playing in clubs. It's pretty heavy for it, but it doesn't lose the Ellie Goulding sound. I liked it.
Yeah, for me it was intro, Don't Need Nobody, and Devotion. What did you guys think of this
Scores
album?
out of 10.
Did you like the intro as much as we did?
Scores out
I
of 10.
doubt it.
Scores out of 10.
Well, I refuse.
Okay, Gareth, scores out of 10.
I'm gonna give it a 6.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah, because I thought, it's just pop stuff, but it's pop stuff that I like. I like the sound of.
Okay.
I'm
I
still
love her
actually
voice.
I'm not-
undecided. I'm on the fence, 5 or a 6.
I'm going to give it a 5.
Yeah.
Has that helped you at all?
Oh, so you said 6, right?
Yeah.
I'll go for a 5.5 then.
All right. Excellent.
Just to throw a spanner in the works. Just to really fuck with his OCD. That's pretty much the reason.
I'm rounding that down.
No, when it's a 0.5, you have to round up. Use your maths, mate.
not how
No,
maths
because I gave it a 5, so I'm rounding it down.
Well, did you love this album?
Do you think 5.5 is acceptable?
Yes. Do you
Do you think
like
it should
maths?
be rounded up or down? Do you like maths? Did you score well in maths at school?
I didn't. I had to do
What
it
did
again.
you score
I did.
in maths at school?
Yeah.
Drop us a comment.
Yeah. There's going to be a little small, like a fucking CV going on here.
What is your previous employment history?
Yeah. Have you got any, like, pets you like more? Are you a cat or a dog person? That's what I want to know.
What was your mother's maiden name?
Okay. So, yeah, leave your sort code down in the comment section and give us a thumbs up if you like the video. And please subscribe.
And if your credit card gets stolen, give us a thumbs up.
Be careful on the internet, guys. It's a dangerous place.
What album are you guys doing now?
Delirium, Ellie Goulding.
Ellie Goulding.
Fuck off!
Hello, and welcome to the Sonic Squeeze. Today we're doing an album review. Delirium by Ellie Goulding. Ellie Goulding is an English singer and multi-instrumentalist. She's a pretty big fucking dealio over here. She's had a few...
Let's do a garage track.
That was weird though, that garage, because it wasn't... Garage just had garage like hats every now and then. It was like
Which
really
track
weird.
was that?
Devotion. And she did just try
Devotion?
Yeah, she did just sort of
No,
random...
Devolution, you mean?
No. Devotion.
Yeah, it's Devotion. Devolution is a garage act.
You're just factually incorrect.
Wow.
Devotion I thought was the worst on the album. I thought it was actually terrible.
Really?
I thought it was
didn't.
genuinely awful. I thought as though what just
I think
happened
it's possibly my
there,
favourite song on the album.
I think
It was
that
up in my top three.
I'm going to go harsh as fuck on this song, right?
Yeah.
The big hits with Calvin Harris. She's done a shit ton of fucking features with everybody on the fucking planet. I felt like I've sworn too much in the beginning of this episode, right off the bat. But this is Delirium, her third studio album. I liked the intro very muchly.
Oh, the intro was
The
awesome.
intro was the best.
The intro was probably the
part
best track on
of
the
the
album.
album.
It was actually so cool.
I know, it really built me up for the whole thing.
These beautiful vocal harmonies.
They're all,
and the
like,
strings.
chopped up,
Yeah,
and
they're all put together. It's
It
so
really built
big.
tension.
It
I
was
love her voice.
grand. It was dark. An intro. An intro of the first song, which is now the second song.
Oh god.
And then it was just like, oh, it's pop. And it's just pop. And
A
there's
lot of this
nothing
album.
more than
That's
pop.
how I feel about all this.
And
In a
then-
lot of this album, I feel like what Ellie Goulding does is she sort of gets a producer and she's like, what can you make me? And he's like, I can make you a sort of deep housey song, a sort of older dubs of songs, and that she's like, no, we've already done that one. We've already gone through that dance genre.
Not
And she
just
just sort of picked through each dance genre and each sort of style of thing and just went, oh, I haven't done it. Do you know what? We're running out of ideas near the end of the track. Garage.
It teased me for what was to
Oh.
come.
And her voice is fucking beautiful.
It had-
Having all these melodies of her voice, I'm just like, oh.
she had her hand down my trousers.
Sleep in a
That's what
bed
I'm
of her
saying.
voice. Like, oh.
And she hit some great notes in it as well.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
excellent.
The production was wonderful
Yeah.
on this entire album. That really showed in the first song, Aftertaste. What did you think of Aftertaste, guys?
I mean,
Well bad.
Well, bad.
Well,
It was well bad,
it
mate.
was well average. It was it followed in from the intro of like, oh yeah, so now we've got some like real nice intro in this